Libra, hey, what is going on? Welcome into the channel. So happy to have you here always. My name is Deborah, owner of Purusha Holistic Wellness, and this is another episode of Purusha Intuitive, where we're going to look at your energy via the tarot, astrology, and any channeled messages that come through. So let's get into it, Libra. We have finally moved into Taurus season since we last talked, and definitely a welcome energy. Taurus is earth energy. There's been heightened water, heightened emotion, cluster of planets in Pisces that are really just triggering a lot of feels. Actually, Venus is in conjunction, meaning on top of Saturn today. And it's forcing us to deal with the hard stuff, the nitty gritty, especially as it relates to relationships, the way we love ourselves, the way we honor our space, our life, etc. And those tensions are really being highlighted. It's not fun, hence why there's so much emotional component going on. We're also having this heightened fire element today, so be really mindful, be really careful of the frustration, the anger that might come up, especially when things aren't necessarily going our way. Mars has been weirdly aspected for a while now, and it's really forcing us to slow down. Patience in the process, allowing things to unfold. Don't just choose something that looks like it fits. Actually vet it, do your homework, right? Like really make sure that it is something that you want to keep around for however long you need it, right? And that can be a little difficult, right? Because that fire energy just wants to push forward and make things happen and see results. And we're not getting a lot of results right now. If anything, we're kind of like stewing in the chaos, which is a little annoying. But that's why I like to start these readings off with an energy cleansing. Just set the tone, set the vibe for the reading, cleanse out any of those blocks, limitations that we might be coming into. It's also a really good time to set your own intention, Libra, especially if you've come into this with something on your heart, on your mind, something you would like Spirit to deliver messages to you around. Definitely give that over. Be open to receive. Great way to personalize these collective readings. It works. You can do it for any reader on YouTube. And I also do personal readings. I offer a variety of healing, wellness services. Readings are one of them. If you want me to look at your specific situation, how things are faring, where they're headed, etc. Or if you are just looking for more of a rebalancing of self, mind, body, soul. I do energy healing as well as Ayurvedic or holistic consultations. When we're feeling strong in self, when we're aware of what we want, what we need, we're more apt to manifest happiness and fulfillment into our life. Then we're like less likely, right, to gravitate towards the quick fixes or the things that really just don't resonate. And that's kind of what we're going through right now. So anyway, if you are interested in any of my services, I would be honored to help support in whatever way possible. Definitely hit me up. All that info, Libra, to get into contact with me is in the description box below. All right, with that, let's get into it. I bless you with pure love and light. Pure source energy, pure loving grace. I release anything that is not for your highest and best. Any fears, doubts, insecurities, lack of worth, lack of value, pain, anger, frustration, impatience, overwhelm. Cleanse it and release it from our being, so we may see and understand the messages clearly, help to make me a clear and open channel for the collective. Thank you, Father God, Spirit guides, guardian angels, Mama love, Mama. All right, Libra, let's get into it. So definitely some insecurities have been heightening lately. And I think, again, this is happening a lot because we're being put in these situations and these dynamics that are kind of like triggering our wounding. Again, i.e. that emotional component that I was talking about earlier. And because we're not seeing a lot of movement, it's hard to feel like we are ever going to get out of it, right? Here's the thing, there's a lot going on in the astrology, and it's actually both beneficial and tense, right? But there's a lot of support as well. And that's kind of, we've been talking a lot about shifting focus, shifting perspective, finding the good in what is happening, the silver linings. It does look like you're at a crossroads, and I'm seeing this a lot all across the collective, right? Like, we're in this space where we have choices to make about which direction we're going to want to go. And some of it is concerning the tension, the frustration that we're seeing right now. The sun is tensely aspected to Pluto, so our ego's having a really hard time with the change, right? And this is just not the smaller things, but like, it's more like, I can't believe that happened, or I can't believe they do that, or I can't believe, it's this living in the past a little bit, or maybe kind of holding on to, stewing in some of the anger, some of the emotion, some of the feeling, right? Feeling like you do have to protect yourself with this armadillo basket, fierce protection. Think of their like outer layer. It's like armor, right? And here's the thing. What I do love, it's a 44. So that's a master number in numerology. 4 is all about spirit protection. It's also this value of like grounding and feeling stable in oneself. And even if you're feeling like you have had to combat a lot of different things, the emphasis is that spirit is protecting you. Whatever you ascribe to, whatever your religion, spirituality, whatever you kind of call upon to feel safe and secure, and knowing that you're just like not left, by yourself, cold, afraid, and alone. It's not that vibe at all. And if anything, I think what I'm seeing in your overarching energy, there's something pretty big that's manifesting, something that it feels like you see coming in a lot of different ways. I feel like spirit has cultivated space for you to begin to feel better within yourself. Even though it's come off of trial, tribulation, even though it's been really messy, this is like you have been presented with a new way of living, or that's kind of what you're starting to think of. Like, I don't really have to do this anymore. Like, what about this, and this, right? And it is changing a lot in your environment. Things that you knew were going to change, things that you just kind of had those inklings. Not that that necessarily makes it easy. I think that our brain naturally gravitates towards like more comfort, right? We always just want to be easy peasy lemon squeezy. But change is like the natural order of life, right? That's actually where the least amount of suffering is found, when we're open to change. And I feel like in some ways, like maybe you have been resisting it, but I think you've been resisting it because of what you've been up against, or what it feels like. It does feel like there's been a lot of attacks, or it does feel like for some reason you've had to wear this armor. And I do see this week things are coming to head. And you have a choice. You have a choice. In your blocked energy is the pine cone, which is all about connecting to your third eye and finding different perspectives about your approach. Again, not the easiest thing. We've been talking a lot about this, but it does look like you have some messages coming in, something that has been long waited, right? Like we saw with this prophecy card. This is clearing the air. This is shedding a lot of light onto things. This is bringing in a new dynamic. We have the Ace of Vessels in your, or Ace of Cups in your overarching energy, your personal energy. But you're dealing with something that's like super emotional, right? I feel like that's why it's taken a really long time to get here, 100%. And they're kind of just like a little bit selfish, right? This is someone who can't really control their emotions, or is letting their emotions get the best of them. And so as a result, it's very much this me energy. And I don't know, like I think this is something that you have been waiting for. I think this is something that maybe you wish would have happened sooner. Some of those, like, why did they do this to me? I feel like it's kind of bringing some of that stuff to light. It's clearing the air around that stuff. I don't know. I feel like what someone chose made something very stressful. There was a lot of stress, a lot of burden. Ooh, I don't know. Maybe this person is coming to explain it to you. Maybe they want new beginnings. I don't know, though. It still kind of feels like they're in this selfish energy. It still feels like it's almost like someone knew what they were doing when they handled you or the situation in a certain way. Because they're still vibing out of this energy of me first, which, whatever, if it's, you know, our life, we should invest in ourselves. But there is this value of like reciprocity and balance and harmony working together. That's what partnership is all about, right? I.e., that fact of what's being highlighted right now. And unfortunately, because Venus is in conjunction with Saturn, that basically means that we're forced to like look at this stuff. We're forced to go through it. And not let your light be dampened, so to speak. Like, I feel like you have to muster a lot of courage and strength in order to handle this situation. Because it's not an easy one. It's not a delicate one, or it is a delicate one. It is very delicate. There is a lot of feeling. There is a lot of emotion. It doesn't look like there's a resolution this week. I definitely see that impasse. And I think a lot of this is because of how this person's situation is approaching everything. It's almost like you finally have some options on the table about what you're going to choose. And then this person comes in and maybe you thought it was going to play out a little bit differently than what it actually is, because they're still being selfish. They're still not... Either they're not like seeing your perspective, or they don't want to, or it looks like they're kind of like throwing some stuff back at you, throwing some stuff in your face. So it doesn't really feel very good. You know, it doesn't feel like a good reunion, or it doesn't feel like you're getting what your heart wants and needs out of it. And it puts a damper on things, you know? I mean, like I said, it looks like everything's at a standstill. Strength, growth, stability. What I'm hearing is like Spirit wants you to take that step back and have a bird's eye perspective. Maybe right now it's too much in the hurt, the pain, the disappointment, whatever the F this person's saying, that just like, you know, not using their filter, not filtering out, or like not taking the time to be mindful with how they express, how they communicate. So it becomes hurtful. But Spirit's also saying like sifting through, reading between the lines, trying to see, you know, the bigger picture, because there is a gift in this. There is something about this that offers more stability, or, you know, depending on which way you want to go, you have the potential. And I feel like Spirit's giving you certain options, right? Giving you certain, like, this might not be what you want to be your stability, because they don't even look very stable in themselves. And then at the end of the day, it's like me first. And that's all really painful. That's not fun. That's really hard to be in a relationship with someone like that. And they're going through a lot, to their credit. I feel like this is really forcing them to learn and also see things from a different perspective. But I feel like at the same time, I don't know, it's saying to stay open-minded. It's saying to assess all the other options. I'm hearing like maybe there's something that you can get out of this that does help you without hurting your autonomy, right? Like without hurting, or kind of like re-putting yourself back into situations that you're not comfortable with. I'm hearing like going back to that Mars energy, take your time with this decision. I think there's more here to be uncovered. There's more to be seen. And when we're patient, instead of just saying like, F you, you suck, you screwed me over, whatever, if that's warranted, you know, Godspeed. But if it's not, if it's just like butting of heads or whatever, be patient. Mars is telling you to be patient. All right. Thank you so much, Libra. I hope that helped. I hope you found messages that resonated for you here. Definitely drop comments below if you did. I love to hear, or just say, hey, share in a little love, a little TLC. I so appreciate all the love, all the support that you bring to the channel and my way. No, I'm sending it back to you.